the Immortals trophy, kind of the third big tourney we got on Forge Alliance Forever. The first two Imba Cups organized by Lucian, and in this one, Lucian is getting some help from Voodoo and Coacher, so 3 players are going to do the babysitting and making sure everybody plays, which I'm sure is going to be pretty crazy. So, in case you haven't seen their awesome video explaining exactly how this will go, and if you haven't, suggest you do, I'll do a quick explanation. So, there's a 2v2 tournament. There are 16 teams who signed up. They have their names here on the left side. If you can figure out who it is based on the names, I mean, Eisen and Arma, pretty straightforward. Kiss My Ass, much more difficult to figure out who that is. That really couldn't be anybody. But I'll do some translating in this video. Of course, 2 best teams out of after 3 games. So it looks like it should be home and away, but it's just going to be a single game between each team. Top 2 teams move on. A victory for 1 point for a victory, half a point for a draw, and we'll see how it goes. So each game, when I say a game, it's going to take a week, and it's going to be 3 games. It's going to be a best of 3. First game is a 2v2. And what this makes this tourney interesting, the losers of the 2v2 get to choose the players who play in the 1v1 afterwards. So if it's a draw after the first 2 games, a 2v2 then a 1v1, then the remaining 2 players play the third game, which is going to decide the best of 3. And if there's a winner in the last game, then that team gets the 1 point. There are other possibilities, but I'll let you watch Lucian Voodoo Coacher video. They did a great job on that one, explaining everything. I won't go through that. So, week 1, we get 2v2 for Roanoke. For the 2v2 matchup, we get Roanoke Abyss. A great naval map, which is really good, should make things very interesting, because a lot of very good players are not very used to all-out Navy. Should make some upsets. And in the 1v1, it'll be usually a 2v2 land map, but it'll be a 1v1. A lot of mask structures, very spread out. Should be quite exciting as well. And at this point, what I want to do is go through the matchups. I'll translate the names, and I also want to make some predictions about how things will turn out. I might get things completely wrong, might offend some people. I'm not really sure, but I'm encouraging people to correct me in the comment sections, make your own predictions. But this is the way I think it'll turn out, so it should be a good preview of week 1. So Group 1, some very good teams. We got Crazy Chariot and Black Death here. They said they're going to win the whole thing, but they're going to get a big challenge in Game 1. Ubelos and Congreve, definitely one team to contend with. And also Eisen and Armageddon. So just looking at this from far away, Eisen, Armageddon, Crazy Chariot, and Black Death look the clear favorites in this group, but they might get challenged. And Mize and Carlitos may be a little unlucky. Got a very difficult group. They're usually Setnus players. Nice for them to show up. And if they win anything here, I'll be very happy. And if they move through, that'll really make my day or 3 weeks. So my predictions after the 2v2 is that Crazed and Black Death should pull it off, and then Eisen and Armageddon. Although in Navy, maybe Carlitos and Mize can do something, but imagine the Tech 2 gunships and air domination. And then, of course, we got the 1v1s, and I believe the choices for the top side pretty difficult. I mean, Black Death and Crazy Chariot both very good, but actually Ubelas and Black Death might just pull it off. In the 1v1s, they just might pull it off, get an upset victory. On the bottom, Eisen versus Carlitos on that ambush the enemy. Maybe Carlitos will pull it off, but then Mize will have to pull it off again against Armageddon. So this is my predictions. We'll see if that happens. So moving on to Group 2. We got some tourney organizers in this one, Coacher and Voodoo on his side, and Lucian and C. Solar in a team as well. And here, some people said this is a group of death. I don't really think it is. I think Coacher and Voodoo shouldn't have too much problems with Mag and Killer. Although Income and Renzilla, 2 very strong players, might create some issues. So after the 2v2s, I think Kosher and Voodoo should take the victory against Killer and Mag. Although Mag a very good player. But Lucian C. Solar, as long as they play the side, they're going to be extremely strong. They just might win the whole thing. I think they might actually be stronger than Kosher and Voodoo. Income and Renzilla, though, will pose a very big challenge. They might just create a huge upset in this group. And if some of the tourney organizers are out after the group stage, that would make things interesting. And I think Kosher and Mag, actually, in Game 2, Mag might just beat Kosher. That's a very even matchup. But then Voodoo versus Killer in Game 3 should take the best of 3. C Solar versus Income. Income, a very good player, so this might also go to Game 3, but then Lucian should close it out. So very likely Game 3 and all of this, but I think Lucian, C Solar, and Kosher and Voodoo should be victorious after Week 1. Pool 3, and this, I think, is the group of death. Extremely difficult. Any two teams out of the 4 can make it after 3 weeks, but the first week's going to be very important. Looking at the top game here, Brainfart, Brainwashed, extremely strong team. Freshie and Mercy Time. One thing to note, though, about this side, I don't think they're really used to naval maps as much as some player like Brainfart, I believe, originally a Setons player. So I think Brainfart and Brainwash should have a lot of luck in the first game. And then, of course, we got Napalm and TJ. They are the YouTube stars. They will bring you a lot of these games if you want to follow. They do some commentaries. Guile will also do some commentaries. And they are taking on Laneless and Chosen. Laneless, Chosen very often play in those 4v4s, those elite games. So very strong players. My predictions, though, that after the 2v2, specifically because it's a naval map, I think Brainfart and Brainwash shouldn't have too much problems with Freshie and Mercy Time. And Napalm and TJ, especially Napalm, very good naval, should be able to beat Laneless and Chosen, unless Laneless and Chosen go crazy tech-to gunships and total air domination and then get map control. But we'll see. It will become interesting, though, on the 1v1, and here we might see comebacks very easily. Mercy Time versus Brainfart. The 1v1s, Freshie and Mercy Time, just might beat Brainfart and Brainwashed on the ambush the enemy and take the best of 3. And as well as Napalm and TJ, against Laneless and Chosen, extremely good on land. Laneless and Chosen just might beat Napalm and TJ. But TJ also extremely strong on land. I think Napalm might be better than him on water, but this is really this group extremely difficult to predict anything. So I just made random circles. So we'll see what happens. Some very good games coming up. Group 4. This is the one with the tag team, Tag Rock and Tag Pebble. That's another favorite to win the whole thing, and I think they really got lucky with the draw. In the first game, they're going to get their strongest challengers, Tisba and Chevalier, French side. And actually, it'd be interesting if Tisba and Chevalier win the first game, but that would be pretty crazy. And then the other side, we got Prince, the Snowman, Mayhem, and Suyaka. Suyaka should be able to carry his side in this first game. And of course, whoever wins this between these two teams will have the chance, because if they lose the first game, they're effectively out. But of course, don't want to count anybody out ever in this game. So Rock and Pebble should take the water, 2v2 in Roanoke. Mayhem and Suyaka should be carried by Suyaka. And then the 1v1s, I believe maybe Tisba against Rock on that 1v1. Rock's still a stronger player of only one, but might get a game 3. And on the bottom, Mayhem versus Prince, quite even, though I haven't seen him too many times. But then Suyaka should take it against Snowman if it is a best of 3. So these have been my predictions. I might get everything wrong. I should do a follow-up video after actually all of this has been played out. Lucian should be completing this table on the left side. And if I can, I will make a video every week. Another thing I'd love to put in this video, if the players see great plays, I will insert something like a top 3 plays in the week 1 into this video after I do a review and then a preview of week 2. So that's my plan. If people have suggestions, let me know and send me some great replays.